I'm using the project so that they're gonna drop off the radon.
Wow.
Not today.
You don't like that? I don't like it.
Sorry. Okay.
All right, guys, let's get started. Thanks for coming. We are happy to have Housemaster with us today as our sponsor, and they brought us lunch, so we're definitely grateful for that as well. So April, right?
Yep.
All right, we'll let April get started.
Hello, everyone. Again, my name is April. I'm with Housemaster Home Inspections. I'm the owner and marketing manager. My husband is the principal inspector. He has been trained through the National Institute of Building Inspectors and also INTRNACHI, International Association of Certified Home Inspectors. He has 20 years experience in the commercial and residential restoration business. He's certified in radon, wood destroying organisms, water and mold, and drone. Today I want to talk to you about something that's a little bit fun for me. Anyway, I think it's a really interesting subject, and it's extremely helpful for us. It actually gives us a view of the home that we are not able to see with our own eyes. And that is thermal applications. In particular, there's so many applications for this. So in particular, I'm going to focus on airflow today. Now, airflow in the house, there's air coming in the house, there's air leaving the house. It can bring other things in besides just air. Moisture, exterior contaminants. Next, please. Thermal imaging can help us with that. What thermal imaging is basically the distribution of infrared radiation that you're seeing on a thermal image. And in particular, this spot right here is standing water. And the reason why I wanted to show this is because water can look different. It can look very cool, like this, standing, or if it's a vacuum. Look like a warm spot. Back it up with a moisture meter too, if you're looking for moisture. Next, please.
Wait.
Whoever on Zoom, we want to mute.
Baby's cute for that.
Yeah.
Adds a little ambiance. Okay. This definitely pertains to airflow. We can see before we even enter the house, just by snapping a picture from the front, that we need to look at the attic. Obviously, when we go into a home like this, most of the time, we're going to find insufficient insulation. Or missing insulation in this case, that's going to greatly affect the rest of the home. So next slide, please.
So the darker spot, insulation is.
Yes.
the problem? Okay.
Yeah, right here
Okay.
you can see there's a negative area here,
Mhm.
and this is missing insulation.
Hmm.
Okay, and this right here we can see on the attic floor, it actually looks like it's sufficiently insulated. But with the, we can see where the wall's not sealed, and this is actually means that on one season, the opposite's going to be happening on the other season. It's going to create a deficiency in your energy. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. So there's missing insulation on the attic. You can see from the living space how that's affecting the living space. It's going to create uneven temperatures, drive your bill up or down, depending on what season it is. Next slide, please. Spray foam is very popular right now. Lots of people are using spray foam, and it's very energy efficient. And this is a really big one. We can check this before there is any drywall. So if somebody is buying a home and it's a new build, if they haven't put the drywall up yet, we can make sure this is done correctly. You can see here by this crack, like this needs to be filled. So it's a very easy way to make sure it's, everything is going appropriately and you're getting what you paid for. Next slide, please. The HVAC system, this is also another one. A lot of the ducts and tubing and things like that are in crawl spaces or hard to reach spots. You can't see them very well. The FLIR camera gives us another access point, like this is taken from, a further distance, and we find out that the cap is off of the ductwork. Or in this one right here, where it looked like it was okay, but the seal is actually broken, so it needs to be resealed. Easy fixes, very easy, but obviously over time that can cost a client a lot of money. We can make sure that that gets taken care of right away. Next slide, please. Drafty fixtures. I know everybody's done this before. Go to flip on a switch or get something out of the sink or change a light bulb. You're like, where's this draft coming from? This happens a lot for places that have a cavity in the wall. Anywhere that you have to install something, I mean, you're opening a wall. So you have to make sure the insulation's right, the ceiling is right, and all of that. Again, easy fixes. But yeah, this is a very common thing that happens. So next slide, please. Catching leaks early. Okay. This one I think is really interesting because a lot of times you have this double pane windows, and the only way you can tell if a seal is broken most of the time is if you see the moisture, or you see like a hazy film, or you can maybe see like a little mildew starting to form around the seal. Well, the thermal camera actually helps us see the argon gas that is leaving that window. So as insulation for these windows, they put an argon gas. And when that gas starts releasing, the window panes start coming closer together. So this is why you see this empty spot right here. All the gas is dispersed on the outside, but there's no moisture at that point. So we can tell like, okay, well, in a year or two, you're going to want to have to get this replaced. Next slide, please. Okay, this one is about airflow, but I did want to touch a little bit about the other applications because there are so many for this camera. I mean, it really is just an amazing camera. We can see into so many different things. This is an image of condo building. We could not see this leak from the inside because it was in the wall, and you can actually see the dryer vent, and so that this is where the washing machine lead is, and it's just spilling down to the second floor. So we could see this from the outside, even though if you look at it, all you're going to see is siding. You're not going to notice, but with the FLIR camera, we can see the moisture behind that. So you're not only going to see moisture, you can see water damage. You can see wood destroying organisms, exposed wiring. We can take a picture of your circuit board and see if there's like a hot wire. And it's really, really interesting.
This is just for the camera.
Just with the camera, just for the camera. It's a whole, I mean, they say that humans only see in like, how many spectrums, but there are so many of them. And this just allows us to it's not like seeing through something, but kind of is. In a cool way. So we can also see if your windows were installed properly, if there's any leaking, seal breakage, or anything like that, or insect and rodent nests. Next slide, please. Okay, anybody that guesses this question gets a Starbucks gift card.
Those look like your lights that, like your can lights that are in your ceiling, and then they cause fires within the walls.
They do. Aliens, that's the first time I've heard that answer. It does look like a recessed light, right?
Yeah.
Is
It
it
does.
toilet drain?
No, that's the first time I've heard that.
Is it?
I love these.
Is it?
You're close.
I'm thinking of salt.
Oh.
There's a
Close.
So close.
Woodpecker.
It looked like a bee's nest.
Yes, you got it.
Oh.
Yep, these are bees nests. See, I mean, if you ever see a bee's nest just hanging, I mean, you can kind of see the outline once you figure out what it is. That's inside.
Wow.
Next slide. All right, so I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about us now and what we do. Obviously, we do full home inspections. We also offer walk and talks and many of your ancillaries. The only one that we don't offer right now is Sewer Scope. We also deliver our reports through our cloud system. Every client will get one. It is the lifetime of the home. They can pass it on to the next buyer. It stays with them. They not only get their report through this, but they are able to manage their home through it. It is a complete home management system. I've seen others online that you can purchase. And, you know, they're always like steps. You get everything, you can download everything, record everything from your home. So very, very useful tool for the client and also the agent, because the agent will get one as well. And you will be linked to every client that has a Housemaster home inspection. Anytime you do an update, they'll see it. Anytime they, you know, request an update for you, or if they want to communicate something about the report to you, they just go through the cloud system. Hey, you know, I need to take care of this, or we need to work this out. We have an inspection resource guide and also a repair list generator. The repair list generator I like to mention because there are things in a home, sometimes buyers, I really like this home, but I want to do this, this, and this. This will give them an opportunity to go through the report, pick out what they want to do, itemize it, prioritize it, manage it, make sure that they, you know, have an idea of exactly how they want to do that. So it's very, very useful. The realtor can do this with the client as well. Now, home inventory is another one I like to mention. This is a very important one. We don't like to think about if something really bad happens in the home, but they do happen. My husband coming from the restoration industry, this was a big one for us because we know how that goes. You know, people can lose everything like that, with like an eye. This will help everybody keep a home inventory. Every single thing in your home you can document and have for the agent, the insurance agent, if something were to happen to the house. So recall alerts, appliances, products, and even your vehicles. You can put all your VIN numbers in there and it will update you if you get any recalls on those. Project management, again, this kind of goes hand in hand with the repair list generator. You can record your contractors, put in your receipts, record your paint colors, your decor, never forget what size blinds you have in what room, all of that. And then document management, any of your digital documents, your appliance manuals and digital warranties, you can download into the system so you never lose them. And then lastly, I'd like to let you know how we definitely like to save our clients and our agents time and money. We pass on our vendor discounts to the client. They can access that from their cloud system. We have coupons from Home Depot, Lowe's, Sherwin-Williams. There are a slew of them. The one I like to list right off the bat is a $200 off coupon from Home Depot. The reason why I like to mention that is because I know lots of people who go in and like, why do all my appliances match except for one? So this will give them an opportunity. Hey, I have $200 off right off the bat. You're also kind of recouping a little bit of the cost of the inspection at the same time. It's a win-win. And then also we do a utilities concierge. It's called Connects. The client does have to accept that online. They can, you know, they can get it through the cloud, but they have to accept it. We're not going to bombard them for it. But it will allow them to, with one phone call, contact our concierge service and have all of their utilities set up, including their alarm system. So that is it. That's all I have for you guys today. Short and sweet. I did have some information for you, and I'm passing around the inspection resource guide, which is a physical copy, but we also do have everything we have is digital. Even with the cloud system, you can get an app on your phone, so it's very convenient.
Licensed in West Virginia.
No, you're licensed in Maryland.
But you will be soon.
We are hoping to be licensed. We're starting with Pennsylvania first. So. Why is there more West Virginia? I mean, show of hands. West Virginia, okay.
Yeah, it's just- it's
But
just
we're
the-
multi-state.
Grants are the walk and talk, and in
Yeah.
West Virginia walk and talks are now LA, you will be licensed.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Really? I did not know that. I haven't heard that from any of the Pennsylvania franchises.
Just, yep, just started. Yep.
I did one like a month and a half ago.
Okay, so that's really, really
So
good
walk
then.
the dog.
Somebody got caught in the walk and
Have
talk,
to.
they're done.
All right, any questions for me?
So what's a basic, I guess the pricing is in your too?
Yes, I have a pricing list in there, some general information for you guys to look over. And our cards. I'd also love to, I mean, if anybody wants me to send digital information, I can do that as well. I know sometimes it's easier to have on the computer.
Yeah, I'll give you
They
my
already
phone.
know. Home inspectors already know.
So I have a question about like with the thermal piece of that.
Mhm.
it probably shows a lot more than a seller is gonna wanna make repairs for.
Well,
So how do you balance that out with, I mean, as a buyer, I'd be like, oh yeah, I wanna know everything.
Right,
And then I'm
yeah.
the listing agent, it's like, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, this shows everything.
well, honestly, we don't list all of those pictures. If they're extremely minor, we'll make a mention of it. Hey, seal this or seal that. You know, we're not gonna try to scare them with all these images. And plus,
Right.
that puts a lot on us for the report too. So the only time we're gonna really put something on there is like if we see like a really hot wire, you know, or
Okay.
something that's dangerous. The same thing with our reports, you know, if there's something that's like you know, a lot of times within, especially for the state of Maryland, you have to say, okay, this is only satisfactory, but it's just because of the age, you know, it's still fully functional, it's still working. So we mention that every time we put that, you know, we make sure that we put it just, you know, in the description. I know what I would want to see
Yeah,
as a homeowner. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make sure we describe it. We're not gonna scare anybody unless it's definitely something that has to be done, right?
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's much better, because I can imagine the buyers being
Could you imagine the report?
overzealous.
Could you imagine the
Yeah,
report?
yeah.
The report would be ginormous.
Right, okay.
To me, I mean, as a homeowner, I'd like to have it done.
Yeah, I know for me, like,
Yeah.
personally,
I don't
you
see
know.
price.
Oh, there should be a price. You know what? I had a mix of folders, so. If you don't have a price list and you need one, let me know.
Very well, I have this because I'm West Virginia.
It has,
It has price.
price.
Okay. I know, I do have that.
Thanks.
Do you want to say this for?
A sheet right in the back.
Absolutely,
Thank
thank you. All right, TJ, I owe you a gift card.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. Susie, any questions?
I just need a copy of the price list.
Oh, okay.
All right.
And she's gonna send it to me electronically, so I can send it out or post it on Facebook.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So any more questions for April before we?
So is the thermal in like,
Thermal is
included?
included, we do that
with
with
the
every
standard?
inspection.
Oh,
And so is our wood destroying organisms, we do not charge extra for that. We don't believe in that, I mean, you should be checking that anyway. So, you know, if we're gonna check it, we're gonna report it,
Gotcha.
period, yeah. Radon, obviously radon's extra, you know, that ancillary is extra.
but
so.
you are doing the Hagerstown area.
Absolutely. We have no representation up here, so we're definitely coming up this way. And then over into Columbia as well. So we have a pretty large area right now.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much.
Thank
for
you.
coming.
Thank
Good
you
luck
for
for lunch.
having me. Okay.
So, we're gonna open this up and see if there's any.
Oh, no worries.
Everyone,
Sorry.
everyone type it so it's on, and use the chat.
I like that you have it.
My son used to work. I think that's what we're looking forward
Where's the beer?
Oh, no, I was just grabbing this and, I actually.
Oh.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Here it is separate.
All right, guys, let's roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
All right, so the first thing we're gonna start with, welcome, everyone. Welcome online, our folks joining us with Zoom. So we'll start with a message from Mark King, our president. We think, right? It's been a little challenging today with technology. Oh my gosh, hold
Oh my
on.
gosh, we might accidentally.
That's at 10.
It sounds like it's coming from here.
It's coming from up there.
I hear it. It's very faint.
Well, no. Sure. I never see. I can like pick your.
Yeah, it wasn't, well, it might on this computer. Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Try that, right?
Right.
Let's give it a whirl.
Nope.
No.
What about on that YouTube? Can you turn him up on that screen? No?
I can read up 10. Actually, it's done. No.
Go back to the Zoom. Go to the microphone thing where the volume sounds off. Is there, go to the audio setting. Test speed.
Yeah, but the.
Oh, it's not working.
Is there a drop down? Try the other ones on there.
Why didn't you just use that one?
Clearly.
We just used it.
I know. Something wrong with sound, trust me. I know.
Okay.
Well,
I know.
probably just gonna have to send it. to
Yeah,
everybody.
you're just gonna have to skip the video thing.
Oh, we have two videos that are really
No.
important today.
We make things happen here. Hang on.
Why don't you go on and come back to it? All right, so really, Mark's talking about the shifting market. You know, we've been talking about for quite a while that the market is shifting. I think you guys are seeing more and more and more evidently in our businesses that the market is shifting. Doing some price reductions, we're seeing longer
Open
days on the
houses.
market. So, and what I want to remind you of, and myself included, is that the market now is a skill-based market. So your real estate skills are gonna have to be put into play to get back to being a skill-based market. The last 2 years, it was a free-for-all. You know, you didn't really have to work real hard. You didn't really have to put your skills to use. But now you want to pull them back out of the closet, dust them off, because we're going to need to use them moving forward. And so Shift, the Shift book was written previously for the last shift we went through, or post-shift. There are 12 tactics in that, and we're going to really be focusing on those as we progress through the rest of the year, because I think it's important to recognize what they are and how we need, what skills we need to pull out in order to be successful. So that's kind of what we've been talking about with what Mark's talking about and constantly. So our mission, who wants to read our mission? Mission of Keller Williams is what?
To build careers worth having, businesses worth owning, lives worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth leaving.
Yes, absolutely. Legacies worth leaving. I love that. Okay, what's our vision? Shelley?
To be the real estate company of choice for agents and their customers.
Yes. Our values. Mary?
God, family, then business.
Then business. Absolutely. Okay, who wants to read our belief system?
One or no deal. Love it. My favorite.
Win-win.
Win-win.
When we say that, I
love
definitely
it.
think of Trish.
I love that. It's my favorite.
What else? Who's gonna read for me? Gina?
Integrity, do the right thing. Customers always come first. Commitment in all things. Communication, seek first to understand. Creativity, ideas before results. Teamwork, together, everyone achieves more. Trust starts with honesty. Equity, opportunities for all. and success results through people.
Absolutely. Thank you. And what's our perspective? Wants to read the perspective? Don't everybody raise their hand at once?
Keller Williams thinks like. Go ahead.
Go ahead, TJ.
A technology company that provides the real estate platform that our agents, buyers, and sellers prefer. Keller Williams thinks like a top producer, acts like a training consultant, and focuses on activities on service, productivity, and profitability.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, so let's talk about a mission moment. We typically start each meeting that we have, whether it's a two-person meeting or a 20-person meeting, with mission moments. So we just read through our mission, our perspective, our values. What do you have? Like, what do you have out there that you've witnessed that helps? Technological difficulties and a little speech difficulty today. So what have you witnessed or experienced inside for the last 4 weeks, inside of our organization or inside of your businesses that exemplifies our mission?
Well, I would say for me, all the rock stars that stepped up and came into Ignite, and the ones that will come in to share their knowledge and help facilitate Ignite.
Oh, awesome.
Just give up of their time.
Yep, definitely sharing the wisdom, sharing the knowledge.
We're a team-based group, and what I love about being a team-based group is that I can call Lenny when I'm kind of in a panic mode. I honestly, I have not done a listing presentation in about 4 months. So I was in a panic mode because I had this really big listing coming up, and I was just like, I worked on my numbers, I'm panicking, and I called Lenny, just kind of went through the whole thing with me. I called Dorothy, she just kind of went through it with me. She says, Trisha, you're gonna be fine. Lenny said, you got this, you got it. And I loved it because I needed that
Little boost.
I needed that boost, and I appreciate that I can call someone and just say, help me, I'm in a panic mode.
Yeah. And it's within, like, you could go down the roster and call anybody.
Absolutely.
Basically, so.
Yeah, I just like to bother Lenny. I just enjoy that. I just enjoy bothering.
All right, what else? Thanks, Trish. What other mission moments? Win-win, no deal or no deal, integrity, do the right thing, or a technology company, God, family, then business. What pops up? There has to be some more. I don't want to keep us later, but.
Well, this just has to do with the team, but I just really appreciate Krista and Priscilla. Like, Krista has been working on our wine event. She's been working on our trip to Alaska and whatever else she does for me, my taxes. I mean, I don't know if that's a mission moment and everything that Priscilla does for me, and then my team, my girls do, so.
Teamwork. everything.
Teamwork,
Yep,
yeah, it's teamwork.
absolutely.
Well, if you want to talk technology, I mean, Keller Williams is set up to support us as individual agents and a team. Those events and different things that we've been working on, Keller Williams has it set up that it's like an easy button. So like our smart plans, like I set up, we just started our very important client Facebook group for all of our past clients. And now anytime somebody closes, it's easy, like through our closing process, we hit smart plan, join our Facebook group, and they get an email and a text. So we click it and forget it, right?
Right.
So the technology that Keller Williams provides is
awesome. It is second to none.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
second to
the
none.
event, like I set it up, I spent like, I don't know, an hour setting it up, and it's been going for weeks and we're almost sold out. So
That's awesome.
it's great, right?
Sure, absolutely.
See, I thought you worked harder at it. But anyway, I still love it.
I second
All
the
the same.
technology.
Yeah.
Because I put the Keller Williams app, and I talked about this in the Unite class. Like, when I put it on there, I thought, I'm never really gonna use this. I'm a laptop girl. Like, I need my 2 screens at home. Like, I'm not gonna use it on my phone. But using it, I don't know if a lot of you are aware, like if you go into the KW and you go into your task for the day for a client, like it's to follow up with them about something or to call their lender or whatever, and you go make that call from the Keller Williams app, it automatically adds that documentation to your timeline for you. So you're not having to go in and do it. I'm like, that is so cool.
Amazing.
It is. And then you just pop a note in and change the task. Like it is so easy to use from your phone.
That's awesome.
It's
You just have to
wonderful.
use it.
You just have to use it. But once you start using it,
just
you'll
have to
see how easy it is, even more convenient than using it on your laptop.
Yes,
It's,
that's awesome.
we're on the go, so it's cool to just pull that up in your car and say, I just made a phone call. It goes in your timeline that you made that phone call.
Sweet.
It's awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, good.
I hear a class on that.
Yeah,
I
that
hear
would be awesome.
Oh, you want to teach that?
Yeah.
I would come to it. She is all about
Efficiency.
I'm all about tasks.
Spreadsheets and.
and her tasks and her follow-ups, like she is really good.
I set up like all my tasks at one time.
Yeah.
Start to finish, I have tasks the whole way through.
Yeah.
Of process.
It's awesome. And it's a little bit of work up front.
Upfront, you do, but
And
if
after
you're
that?
doing it, the initial upfront, but it's a constant reminder to me of what the next step is, like what I'm waiting on a clear close, what I'm waiting on appraisal. I have a task set up to follow up on every one of those because I'm old and I can't remember anything.
It's awesome.
So I have to remind myself.
Yeah. That's cool. All right. Thanks, guys, for sharing. So birthdays, our July birthdays, Robin Thomas, Sonia. I had a birthday too. Elsa, Casey, Stephen, and Heidi. Happy July birthdays. My comrades. How about work anniversaries? Gloria has been here since 2016. Colleen, April, Steve Stoy, and Michelle Travis has been here for 2 years. So congratulations to all our folks on your work anniversaries. Bucket fills. Anybody got a bucket fill for somebody else? Team members? This is probably where you.
Yeah, I just did a bucket fill.
Yes.
Oh, Priscilla, thank you. On vacation, and she had so many listings she had to deal with, and she also had my stuff, but I appreciate you.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yes, I
Good
gotta
job.
thank Shelley and Sonia. While I was on vacation, they filled in pretty good for me.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
I think Shelley kind of got frazzled a little bit. I don't know.
That was a rough 2 weeks.
No, you can't do that yet.
Awesome. But you could be on vacation.
Yeah.
And that is really the ticket for sure of helping each other.
Susie Butts for being my sidekick and helping me and reminding me, Tricia, don't forget.
Yeah.
Sometimes when she says, don't forget the gift, I want to kind of go, yeah, this is such a tough one. I don't think I'm going to get it. She reminds me again, it's almost time. Okay, get the gift.
That's great. Anybody else? Bucket fills?
I have one for Shelley too. She helped me convert the pictures into PDFs. It was so frustrating. I felt like I learned how to do that a long time ago
Yeah.
and it left me. And so she was like, just give it to me. I was like, with, here's a tiny scanner you could do it. So she said, and Lori for babysitting.
Oh, that's awesome.
All the babies.
Yeah.
Susie Butts, Lenny, Stacy, Lori, Susie for helping out with it tonight again.
Oh, awesome. Hey, congratulations to Cherika
Sure.
and Cherika, sorry, and Candace for completing the entire course of Ignite. They graduated this week. Good job keeping your nose to the grind and making that happen.
Every
Yep,
day.
it was amazing. So good job, ladies. Our top producer for the month of July, Jenna Beeman, with $789,000 in volume. That was just one unit. So how cool is that? Good job, Jenna. Congratulations. Our top producer, Tina Llewellyn, $789,000. Rocco and Tina.
Llewellyn's nailed it this month.
Yeah, exactly. Denise, we want to congratulate Denise for her first transaction. So good job, Denise.
Our top producing team, the Melanie Pratt DeMaio Group in Allegheny County, produced 6 units at $1.2 million of volume. So congratulations to the Melanie DeMaio team. And our top producing group happens to be another Luella, $4.6 million in volume and 16 units. Rock on, guys. Good job. So let's talk a little bit about numbers. The market center's numbers in comparison, we call this the lore, the language of real estate. Not everybody in the industry tracks these numbers and not everyone knows exactly what they are, but we do. We track these metrics on a regular basis. And so it's important for us to know as the market continues shifting, we're no longer just on the cusp of it, but we're actually experiencing it now. So closed units month over month for July, we changed 0%. We were just the same this year as we were last year. Year to date, closed units is down 3%. Okay. Closed volume month over month is up 12.9%. Year to date, it's up 22%. So if closed units is down, the number of properties that we're selling is down, but the volume is up, does that tell you prices are up, right? So I'm not going to bore you today with this, but we can post this on our internal Facebook page for you. The regions volume is down. So again, we talk about the lots of times trends will happen from each of the coasts, the West and the East Coast, and they'll sort of make its way to the middle. In our area, it sort of starts in DC and Baltimore and makes its way this way. We're up right now, but I don't think we're going to stay up with volume. So in the region, closed volume is on the decline, which means properties are not selling as high as they were previously. That's going to make its way here. So be expecting that. When you're taking your listings now more than ever, it's extremely important that you get it priced right. Not priced for 2021 or 2020, 2021, and 2022 at the beginning of the year. We're going to price it for the market we're in now, which is that shifting market. Listings taken month over month, we're up 2.5%, but year to date, our listings taken is down. So that creates an opportunity. Of course, we do know that we're still struggling with lack of inventory. So focus should be on listings. The buyers will come from those listings, but listings taken year to date is down 2%. Look at listings taken volume. That is up 60.3% month over month. So this July over last July is up 60% in volume. Year to date, we're up 35%. We're not going to continue to see that increase. You know, listings taken volume, because you're going to price them for the market we're in now, not where we were, is going to come down a little bit. Listings sold, we're down 3%. Year to date, down almost 5% in listings sold. Listings sold volume, again, that typical trend, it's going to be higher because our volume has been higher. Contracts written, from this July to last July, we're down 18%. We're down 4% year to date. Now, those of you that are working with buyers, what are you seeing with the buyers at the moment? Is it easier to get a deal through? Easier to find a property? Like, talk to me. What do you see?
I'm doing, like I'm selling her house, she's buying a house. When she asked for closing costs, she was given it. And she had home sale contingency and it was taken by the buyer, by the seller. So it was just like, I told her, I said, this is so unusual. For the past 2 years, this would have never been able to happen.
Right.
So I see huge, just in that one deal the other day, it was crazy.
Yeah, definitely. Not as much competition. So you may not have to compete with 16 offers. You might only compete with one other one. I think that's happening.
I only had 3 on my previous listing. 3 offers.
Yep.
That's it.
Yes, exactly. Where you would expect to have 20 and 15 minutes, and now you only have 2 to work with. So it's definitely, the tide's turning. Contracts written volume is up year to date, but month over month, it's down 7%. Our closed GCI, so the closed GCI is what our agents are making. So the gross commission income, month over month, our agents have made 21.7% more than they did last July. Year to date, our agents are up 24.7% in GCI. Now, with that increase in what we're actually keeping or what we're receiving as agents, it's extremely important as we go through the shift to be able to cut your expenses. Expense control is one of the number one thing that has to happen in the midst of the shifting market. So we'll talk again about those different strategies with the shift classes. So Allegheny County, our report runs from June. Oh, I'm sorry, this is just for the month of June. Average sold price, 175,000, average pended median, oh, hold it. Where did I want to go to? Current inventory, 221, no, wait, I'm sorry. Let's go to the top, units sold. So 62 units sold in June, $10.8 million in sold volume. The median price is 138,000, 20 days on the market, which is probably an increase from what it was previously. In Berkeley County is next. So in Berkeley County, we sold 265 units, $78 million in volume. The median sale price in Berkeley County was 275,000. Days on market there is 14. Remember when it was 2?
1 day.
1 day, 2 days? So it's changing. Again, we're showing up now. We need to show up as a skill-based agent.
And look at what was listed. Oh, you already
Oh,
changed it,
I
but it
know
was a
that.
lot more listed than it was sold. Like they're sitting on the market.
Mhm. Yep, absolutely.
Yep. It's not anything.
Pricing is gonna be key.
Mhm.
And the conversation with your sellers is key because they don't understand that it's shifting. They might be hearing that the interest rates are going up, but they don't realize the effect that that's gonna have on their business. So I was talking with the lender and we were calculating that a buyer that would qualify for $325,000 with the interest rate change, they're now qualified at about 250 to 260. So purchase power is absolutely affected. So in Franklin County, 128 units sold in June for 35.7 million, median price 250. Their average days on market is 20 in Franklin County at the moment. And then Garrett County, 47 units sold for $25.4 million. Average, or I'm sorry, sold median is 365,000. Days on market there is 35. And you figure Garrett County to some degree is a luxury market. So that luxury numbers are going to be a little bit different, just a little bit. In Washington County, we sold 192 units, 60.5 million, or sold median 300,000, purchase price, average days on market 17. So
With
with
this county, correct?
with Washington and Marion, yeah. So really between Garrett County, Berkeley County, Franklin County, and Washington County, days on market are about just, slightly under 3 weeks. That's really important for us to be sharing with our sellers, so that we keep them abreast of what the market's doing. We are the local experts. And this is where you having the knowledge shows up in those conversations. All right.
I just realized that always shows the current month there too.
Oh, current inventory. Yeah, okay. Yep,
So, yeah.
304 units. All right, so Market Center, Kate's updates for us. Disbursement authorizations, DAs are returning effective October the 1st. So in the state of Maryland, when you go to the closing table, you will now be able to again be paid at the table. That's only for Maryland. Pennsylvania and West Virginia don't allow it, but Maryland will allow us to get paid at the table, but not until October 1st. So just kind of know that that's coming.
Yeah,
And we-
that's all.
And
Completed at the end, right?
it's what?
If it's all completed, how it should be.
Oh, yeah, everything has to be approved, obviously, as getting your things approved. And then in West Virginia, if you're licensed and have an LLC, you know that previously we were not allowed to get paid to the LLC.
that it had to go to each agent as an individual, but beginning July 28th, at the end of this month, the office will now be able to pay your LLC instead of having to pay you personally. So that's a huge thing too, yeah. So we've got some contract classes coming. Pennsylvania contract class, West Virginia, well, July 26th, in person and virtual. West Virginia contract class on the 23rd of August. And then Maryland will be September 27th. Make sure to pop those on your calendars.
What you said, that's like the fourth Tuesday of each month.
The fourth Tuesday of each month. Yep. Yep. All right, so following the meeting, Lenny's going to be giving us, there are new forms that we're going to be using in West Virginia. So right after this meeting, if you're a West Virginia licensed agent, you probably will find it useful and of value to stay and get a debriefing.
Lenny's
Lenny,
in the house.
right, whoop, whoop.
I got a lot of stuff for everybody.
Yes, just check. Should we have any questions?
So there's a lot of things going on in, you know, lately, real estate's been changing pretty much every day. We got a lot of changes that are coming up in Maryland, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia. A big thing, West Virginia, we had the brokers council. Between West Virginia, Maryland, Pennsylvania, they're all doing the same thing. So everybody has social media. Be very careful what you're putting on there. I used to be guilty of this, so I made my page private so nobody can see it. The only people that can see it are if I friend you. I don't tend to friend agents just because unfortunately, when you friend agents, your stuff's out there and people may not like it. We do have our first threat of a lawsuit from a Facebook post that was done. Just trying to air in, you know, frustration with the real estate business and other real estate agents. We got our
And when
second.
you say we, is that us or the whole industry in our
That's-
area?
That's us.
That's
That's
Keller
this
Williams'
office.
office. Okay.
That's this office. We got a second complaint about social media posts that were brought up. So probably about a year ago, NAR took the position with social media that because you're a real estate agent, you should not be posting inappropriate things. What's inappropriate? Anything that has to do with fair housing, anything that has to do with the real estate industry in a whole. If you, there have been, that we know of, agents that have been removed from the NAR. They're not allowed to be agents anymore because they felt they were in violation of fair housing, because they may have posted a religious belief. They may have posted a political belief. So states are cracking down and the NAR is cracking down. Be very aware. So we rely on social media for a lot of advertising and things like that. Be very cautious what you're putting on there. You as a real estate agent, because you're supposed to be the real estate professional, your page, because it says that you are directly linked with Keller Williams Premier and Keller Williams as an international company, is going to be looked upon as you're constantly going to be under the microscope for that. You will be the professional.
This is not if someone
post something that happens to go to my social media, like a client sends me something because I've got some doozy of stuff, you know.
Everybody can see, if everybody can see it and it's not appropriate, it needs to be removed. You're, you know, what in West Virginia, at the West Virginia Broker Council, the response from the Real Estate Commission and the Broker Council is the individual agents are responsible and so is the broker. They're coming after both of us. Their belief is as the broker, you have the responsibility to monitor everybody's Facebook page. I don't have time. I do not have time. Just be aware that they're cracking down on it enough that you will no longer be able to be a member of the National Association of Realtors, which means you can no longer be a realtor. Okay,
So
That's-
is that,
that's what that means.
so like if you put on your, Realtor page, Merry Christmas, is that something that can come back to bite you?
Okay, I put on mine, it was the adult playing the nativity scene with children talking in the background. And I got some pretty nasty comments
Wow.
on my Facebook page for putting that on there. And to me, I thought it was absolutely adorable,
Right,
because it's adults and their children are talking for them.
yeah.
I'm married and I am going to have a baby, and it was just super cute.
My recommendation,
ridiculous.
here's my recommendation. If you have a personal Facebook page, you make it private. Nobody can see it but you and maybe your family members. That's it. You create a business page and everything that you want to post, strictly real estate to that business page. That's my recommendation.
So Lenny, prior to this, we were really honing in on appropriately advertising the properties, but now we're a whole new level.
Oh,
Fair
yes.
housing,
Oh, yes.
Free for all.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Complaints are coming in left. Complaints are coming in
People ain't
left and
got
right.
enough
And
thing to
that's
do
what
in
I
the
was gonna
world.
say, and it's not just
Yeah.
us. I mean, it's the
It's everywhere.
industry, and that's why the NAR piece comes into play. And that's why the real estate commissions are actually kind of honing in on it, is because they continually get complaints. Well, you know where most of the complaints come from is everybody telling, all the agents telling on each other,
Yeah.
basically. And so I think we just have to remember that we're held at a higher level of accountability and integrity because we are public persona, because that's what our jobs are. That's our position, and that's, we're running a business. And so with all the complaints comes, it just sort of trickles down, and now we really need to be held accountable, I guess. And there's always bad people. I mean, there's nobody in here that I can think of that we have an issue. It's that just be conscientious that if it's happening out there, it could trickle to us at some point.
It's
So-
already trickling.
Okay, it was me.
One of
Not
them.
both.
I didn't call anybody out. So you did that on your own. You did that on your own.
So just
Okay.
be careful.
So, I mean, we are supposed to be the professional. Also, speaking of social media, they're harping on this one. If you're gonna share properties or you're gonna share a listing of somebody's, you have to have the one-click rule. If you click on it and it doesn't take you to, if Mary's got a listing and I share it, if somebody clicks on that listing and it doesn't take you to Keller Williams Premier Realty, Mary Llewellyn's page, guess what? It's a violation. What has been said by the Real Estate Commission is they are starting to take those complaints in. They are starting to investigate those complaints. And it's $1,000 fine per occurrence. And if you have one, they're going to go back further to see how many more they have.
I will say in the last couple days, I probably remember at least 3 agents in other companies that are starting to post things like about their listings, and I can't get to it because I'm always checking, like knowing, oh, well, I can't get to what I'm supposed to with them. So that's, yeah.
And they're gonna come back on the broker on that.
What
will.
about if it's, because I've seen this too, what if it's not listed yet, it's a coming soon and they're like.
Coming
"Here's
soon
a
is not advertised to the public. You
Right.
cannot advertise it to the public, period.
But I've seen agents say, here's a sneak peek, they don't give the address, they don't give the price, they just show a few pictures.
You're advertising to the public.
So
How far
Is
back
it-
do you think they would investigate something like that? 'Cause I'm for sure there are posts
Oh, there's,
probably
I'm
5 or
I'm
6
sure
years
there,
ago
I'm
that
sure
have no
there
one
is.
click anything.
I know one of the most recent cases that I pulled up and looked at on advertising, they went back for 5, so they could get a $5,000 fine.
What?
Lenny,
They just look so hard, money.
Right. More than like.
Right, so,
Hello?
I mean, just be aware of this stuff,
Yeah.
okay?
hello?
Now, we also have changes in Bright. Anybody aware of the changes that happened with Bright? So Bright used to say that your day counts were business days. You had so many business days to correct something, or you had so many business days to put something in, or you had so many business days to remove something, whatever the case may be, it was always business days. No longer, they're working on realtor days. So if it's a holiday or if it's a weekend, it doesn't matter. So if it says you have 2 business, or you have 2 days to correct something or to input something, you've got 2 days,
So if
period.
Friday, you gotta get it changed by Friday.
Correct. The day count is day count, every day.
Boy, that retirement's looking awful good.
Hopefully you can retire.
Well, unless I'm just not the broker anymore and don't care.
We're glad that you care.
No, I didn't say
Um,
that, Lenny. I'm just saying. it's-
So one of the other things that has happened, so it's really important, pricing is gonna be a really big thing coming up. And one of the big reasons pricing is gonna be a big thing coming up, how many are aware of the appraisal changes that were made as of April 1st?
Oh, let me talk about it. I just learned about it.
Okay, so everybody, just so everybody knows, all appraisers now as of April 1st have to use ANSI guidelines for calculating livable square footage in a home.
What's it called?
ANSI,
ANSI guidelines.
yes, it's an acronym for something.
Pansy.
So basically, if you have a home that you're listing that has a basement, and it doesn't have 7-foot ceilings, I think I told you 8, right?
Right.
It's actually 7 foot. If it doesn't have 7-foot ceilings, it's not livable space.
That in all states? I mean,
That's
it's
everywhere. That's everywhere.
7 foot from the
Um,
rafters, is that what you're saying?
It's here.
7 foot to the ceiling.
Oh, wow. There's
Yeah.
rafters in there.
Um,
And if it's open, like you're saying, I mean, that would count to the rafters, to the wherever.
mm, ANSI guidelines say from floor to ceiling. So the rafters are not considered the ceiling.
Oh, so that's good, because, you know, you go in and, you know, this modern look, you know, that's got the rafters. So
I
you don't
have
want-
one of these and I'm hoping and praying that it's gonna be good with the appraisal because I have one just now. It's where they painted everything black, you know, everything is.
So
Well, here's a big thing, one of the big ones is, and they mention it in here, is Cape Cod style homes. Some of the bedrooms, because they're sloped ceilings, any area that's less than 7 feet is not considered livable space.
I thought it was just below.
Wow, that's gonna
No,
be
it's,
trash.
it's also,
And there's a lot of those in this area, so it is important that we know
So-
that we're aware of what we're gonna have to argue with.
now, you can ask for an exception, and the exceptions that have been granted so far are berm homes.
What's a berm home? I don't know what it is.
Anybody know what a berm home is?
House that's in the berm.
A house that has been built underground intentionally.
Oh,
An underground house.
An underground
You live
house.
in a
There's
bunker.
one in West Virginia.
I know, I used to be driving.
Too.
There's
Yeah.
one in Washington County, I've seen it.
Right?
So those are the exceptions. There's the only exceptions that have been granted so far.
Wow. What about the little, you know, the
10 houses or whatever.
You
go
mean the homes that were
upstairs,
built in the 1800s?
And the upstairs is like
Yeah.
6, 7, maybe, if you're lucky.
They were little back then,
They were little.
for sure.
They're gonna.
They were little people.
They're gonna, they're gonna have to be, they're gonna have to ask for an exception in order for it to be considered livable square footage.
Wow. Who asks for the exception? The agents whenever
The
you do the
appraisal,
listing?
the appraisal.
So how do you?
You're gonna
as
have to
an
look,
agent,
you're gonna, as an agent,
subtract
when
out
you
the
get
square
that,
footage?
when you get that appraisal, if you know that you have spaces that are less than 7 feet, you're gonna have to calculate the square footage. So guess what? I'm one of the ones that was guilty of it. I used to never measure the rooms. I'm gonna have to start measuring your rooms. That way your square footage calculates what it needs to calculate.
Couldn't we like still shift the liability by saying when it auto populates from the assessor's office that we shift it to them instead?
Well, you're gonna find that under the assessor's office, that the ANSI requirements don't apply.
I just hate.
So you have to subtract it out.
I
there and
know.
list it.
I don't, and quite honestly,
It's not
I
us,
mean,
it's the
you
clients,
correct me,
remember.
but I don't want any parts of calculating square footage.
I typically don't.
I should go back onto the appraiser.
I typically don't. I mean, I used to never measure rooms just because I use a digital. Boom,
Yeah.
boom, it's done, right? Well, somebody come in there with a tape measure and I might be a quarter of an inch off.
But I always put approximate. Every time I measure anything, and I think because you told me, you need to make sure, Tricia, that you're not a professional. I'm like, right, I got it. So everything in there, I put approximate, it's approximate, especially with
No, I think
my,
I probably said you're not a professional contractor.
well, whatever. Okay, yeah, I know. But I put approximate in everything now, that I've measured it. This is approximately what I believe it to be, especially my basement right now, that I'm so worried about the stupid damn ceiling. I'm like,
But it even says that in the MLS, this is approximate. that
yeah,
Yeah.
but I even
bottom,
type it in
so-
there in the.
It even says it in the tax record.
Yeah,
Approximate.
Not to be relied
approximate,
upon.
approximate.
right.
So
We should be
try, try to save my rear.
What about tiny houses? Do they qualify differently?
Oh my gosh, I didn't think about that.
Because typically your bedroom living space is above like a typical open living space, but it's not. So that bedroom isn't a bedroom because you couldn't stand 7 feet.
I'm sure they have a list that they can, what are these?
Oh my gosh. I didn't-
The only thing that I've seen, there's an exception process and the person can file for an exception.
Wow. But we don't have a list of that, what would qualify as the
No.
exception.
The
other than
person
burn.
that-
Right.
Lenny, you said the person that can ask for the exception is
Is the
the
appraiser.
appraiser himself.
Yeah.
So I guess if you had something like a Cape Cod coming on the market, and when that appraiser goes to make the appointment, you could address that at the time with them on how they're gonna approach that.
I would cautious against that because I want the appraiser going into his job. And then when I get the report back, and this is where it's important, when we get the report back, we need to look and see what's being reported.
Lenny, can we do a class where we just look at appraisal reports and go through those?
We can.
I think it would be,
We,
you're gonna look at appraisal reports.
we have an appraiser that would like to come in and do a class.
I would love one.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the other stuff we're gonna go over, there's changes in forms in Maryland and Pennsylvania. I've not gone through all those yet. They haven't actually produced a list for me to go through yet. And to sit there and read everything to come up with the changes, I can't do that immediately. But that pretty much sums it up. So on social media, watch what you're doing.
Cautious.
Also watch what you're saying to other agents. You're the professional. Oh, no, there was one other thing. Lead-based paint forms. How many people in here use lead-based paint forms on properties that were built before 1978?
Yeah, because some break or makes us.
How many of you fill them out incorrectly?
Me.
You would be surprised. So we learned at the West Virginia Broker Council that for every space that's incorrectly filled out on a lead-based paint form, if an EPA does an audit and the EPA just recently did an audit. And there was a company fined over $1 million because they had blank spaces where they weren't supposed to. They had filled in spaces where they weren't supposed to. Sit on a lead-based paint form. Federal government is the one that regulates the lead-based paint form.
I keep thinking they're gonna stop doing that one day, but apparently not.
Not if
They're
it's a
gonna start
moneymaker.
finding everybody.
Well, no, because for each blank space, guess what? Each blank space is a $10,000 fine.
What do you mean blank space? I mean, they put in.
Well,
If
if it was built, if it's not completed correctly, and say it was built before 1978, the agent doesn't fill in the initially appropriate space, that's a $10,000 fine. If it was built after 1978, you have that the date was built for 2005, and you filled in the blank spaces that you weren't supposed to fill in, that's $10,000 fine.
Yeah, I've had
Yeah.
things come through that is after 78 and they filled in.
They filled in the whole
first
thing.
Yeah, the sections that they don't need to.
It all goes back to what I always originally said. Read the document. Know what to put in the blank. If something is to go in the blank,
So West Virginia is the only state that we have to have it if it's after 78.
correct.
Maryland and PA. we don't-
Maryland and PA, if it was not built prior to 1978, no.
Don't even need it.
No.
And again, if the person that I am working with does not give me one and says they're not gonna fill it out, I can't really do anything about that.
What you're going to do is you're going to make note of it and you're going to ask them to send over a signed letter stating they're not going to fill it out. Signed by them and themselves and their broker.
Okay, all right.
We'll pin them down.
Okay, I always had scary things to say, sorry.
Well, it keeps us out of jail. We
He
like
gets
that.
the scary stuff, that's all.
Yeah, that's right. Thanks,
Somebody has
Lenny.
to do it.
That's right.
So we get one.
Thanks, Lenny.
All right,
Yeah, I
so
get everybody a copy.
thank you for keeping us up to date. So we had issues and it disappeared and went away. And for whatever reason, we had to create a new site, internal website. So this is now the resource that you'll want to use. And you can use the QR code, but it's no longer KW, it's no longer KW Hagerstown, it's now kw.kwpremierhagerstown.com. So make sure when you want to access all your resources internally for our internal office, use this website and or the QR code.
And there are questions on there that you can answer yourselves and forms on there that you can see and find.
Go back. if people are still trying to
Oh,
get it.
sorry.
Online, you can't see that. You, somebody quote it.
On our internal Facebook page too. All right. So shift, talking about shift tactics, what is the first core competency of a real estate business? Who knows the answer? The first core competency of a real estate business. Over here.
Lead generate, capture, convert.
Two appointments. Yes, there we go. Woo! All right, so the 6 core competencies, here you go. The first core competency in the real estate business, lead generate, capture, and convert to appointments. That's it, right? So we're gonna continue shift throughout the rest of this year, probably into next year. So we're gonna get really good at all those shift tactics. All right, anybody remember that we are doing Gotta Minutes at 11:30 a.m.? Some of you are, because it's actually being utilized and it's going really well. So I would encourage you to continue to use the Gotta Minute. Between myself and Michelle, Kate, Lenny, sometimes Sonia. Seems like there's somebody else. We're always on from 11:30 to 12. You can log on to that Zoom site, which you'll also find on the webpage. And in order to ask questions about whatever, you've got us full attention and we're all together. So you no longer have to talk to me. And I say to you, Oh, that's a Kate question. I'm not really sure the answer, but I can ask Kate before you get back to you. Now we're all in there together, and so you can ask away. So please remember to be sure to jump in there 11:30 to 12 each day, Monday through Friday. All right, next. Brandy.
That's me.
Yay.
Baby's getting antsy. So does everybody know what Camp Esri is?
You want me to you're gonna bring her up?
Yes.
She's naked and.
Oh, gotcha.
They're naked babies.
I take the naked baby.
Gotcha.
I can just say it right here so you can see it. Camp Esri is a nonprofit. It's based out of Hedgesville. A lot of you guys came to help us on Red Day. But what it does is it provides a wilderness outdoor adventure to at-risk kids. So kids are recovering from human trafficking, they're on drugs, they're from gangs, maybe their parents are on drugs, so being neglected, and gives them the opportunity to do things outdoors that they would never have the opportunity otherwise to do, while we teach them about Jesus. So it is faith-based, and it's really hard to raise money for faith-based. Must be the room. There it is. So, ways that you can donate is through Facebook. Facebook is the free way, doesn't charge us anything, whereas the website, of course, they take fees and things like that. I have been encouraging everyone I know to open up their Amazon accounts and change to smile.amazon.com, and they give a small person, it's like 0.05% back. So that's a free way that we can raise money. It costs us about $350 per kid to come through. The kids don't have to pay anything. And then there's follow-up programs and things like that afterwards that our board members do to keep in touch. So we just did a group of 7, 15, and 16-year-old boys. One of the boys is the oldest of a sibling group of 7, and the parents are on crystal meth really bad out of Hagerstown. So when we did the follow-up this week, the parents would not let any of the other board members talk without $30 to $50 cash out to them.
That's terrible.
What?
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. So
Yep.
the idea is to teach them that our help comes from God and not the circumstances that you're living in, especially the human trafficked ones. The statistics are showing they just go right back into selling themselves for money, or selling themselves for money to give to their parents because they feel like they need to provide for their parents, things like that. You can also donate out of your check on your settlements. There's a couple agents in here that do, and we're so grateful for that. I think that's it. Do you have any questions?
Awesome. It's a great organization, Brandy. We're glad to be part of it with you.
Yes, I'm glad you're
For
part of it
sure.
with us.
Awesome. All right, any questions? All right, so Quantum Leap. I don't think we're going to be able to play this, but Quantum Leap. So close. Almost here. So we will post this, but John Newman runs a really big team out of the Crofton Market Center. And he is also the team leader in the Market Center in Crofton. So he has become a Quantum Leap instructor and runs a really, really, really good Quantum Leap. So he's going to be doing that. We're going to run that virtually here in the Market Center on August the 9th and 10th. So definitely mark your calendars. If you want to participate with us, it's great to be in community and to be social and have that back together. Oh.
Go back to the beginning with something
No. Just know that on the website, that says May 17th and 18th. He's using the same video to promote this time as he did before. That's why the dates are different, but it is August the 9th and the 10th. So
It is here in the office.
it will be here in the office. We're going to stream it virtually and participate kind of as a group. So look for that on the page, our website, as well as the internal Facebook page. And take a look at it. Out Front series, we're the shift tactics. Of course, there are 12. All these, find the motivated, do more with less, get to the table. Remargin your business is tactic number 2. We talked about your expenses. Next. A shift with Connect Live. Be sure that you go on to Connect.
Can I see you out and baby? Yay.
Sure.
20th, yeah. So shift with Connect Live. The Connect Live calendar is a great place to get in and get trainings where you can connect with them live as they're being taught. Mega Camp, Mega Agent Camp. In the past, Mega Camp was comprised of mega agents and leadership. And now the leadership has been pulled out, and that's not, so leadership does not have to attend. That's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is that the focus is on mega agents the entire time in Austin, and that's going to be August the 23rd and 24th. It's a little challenging sometimes to travel to get that experience. However, we are going to stream that live in the Market Center. So again, in community with other agents around the country and around the world, we'll participate with Mega Agent Camp. That's next month. Top 5 reasons why to attend: 100% agent focused, strategies for thriving in any market, not just the shifting one that's occurring now. Network with top producing agents, tap into a world of potential referrals, and we have all Gary all day. So that's an awesome thing in and of itself. Tech training opportunities. You can use the QR codes. This month in command, customizing your command with Facebook marketing.
And put those on Facebook.
Yep, that'll all go in there too. Of course, we can't do anything without talking about the TCPA, so make sure that before you're making phone calls or sending out emails and texts, that you know folks are on, whether or not they are on the do not call registry. All right, any questions, thoughts, concerns? Awesome. Thank you guys for joining us today and bearing with us with our tech problems.
And your West Virginia
Tech
agent,
challenges.
from 1 o'clock to 1:30, we're gonna go over West Virginia changes of contract and the addendums that were changed.
And I do not want you to think that I am not going to be attending the meeting at 1 o'clock. However, we have as we're looking to fill our team leader position, we have a cyber recruiter, and I have a recruiting appointment at 1 o'clock, so I will be back to the meeting, but that's why I'm not here.
You got to hold down.
Yes, he just called.
So are we?
Yes.
We're working on that.